Coming up on Too Weak to Write.
A special unreleased episode from the vault. About two cowboys swapping lives ahead of the big duel.
Record this one, and we are recording.
Mid sip of water.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Too Weak to Write. We are two nice boys who are not great at writing. And we're here again. I'm David. This is Davo. Two Daves.
I love how you went through every iteration of our name in that intro. Like any possible way.
We got it all.
We got it all.
Covered the bases. Would you like to take us through the prompts that we had? It's the same prompts that you heard last week. We're going to read my portion this time.
Yes. For those who don't remember, the prompt was, and it's a bit of a wordy one, a cowboy leaves the snowy weather and walks into a bar. The prompt was given by my roommate and best friend, Dom. He's a good guy. He's currently not in the room because I'm recording the script. He might hate me because I'm just here, just recording the podcast in the middle of our apartment.
Taking up the space.
Oh, yeah. But we appreciate him nonetheless. Official friend of the show, Dom.
Official friend of the show. It's a prestigious award.
So we might as well read your script now. And at the end of it, we shall remind people what the current prompt is, which exists.
We'll go through that. All right. So you'll see that I don't know how to export things right because according to the PDF I sent you, we're about to read script title written by name of first writer based on, if any.
I saw that and made me laugh so fucking hard because it's the program I told you. For those of you who don't know, we both have Macs. We use Highland 2 to write these scripts. It's free, it's open source, and it's a pretty good script writing program. At least in my experience.
What we use?
I've been using that. Have you just been using Word, converting it yourself?
Oh God, no. I Googled industry standard script writing software, and then I went right to Pirate Bay. Because I'm an awful person.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't even know what that is?
I don't even know that.
You don't know what Pirate Bay is?
I assume it's a programmer shit.
What? What do you mean, dude? You never torrented anything? Oh, I'm a bad person.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to say I'm anti or pro torrenting. All I'm saying is if you don't want to deal with that nonsense, I use Highland 2.
That's a nice plug. We're sponsored by Highland 2. We are also sponsored by the Pirate Bay.
Asterisk. No, we're not. But if you want to sponsor us, we'll take anything.
We have software.
Yeah. Welcome to Too Weak to Write, where our standards for sponsorship is give us money and we'll say anything.
And look, if you don't give it to us, we're just going to pirate it anyway. So get on board.
I would love free script writing software.
Well, I can make that happen, sponsorship or not. And
criminal activity.
I don't know. Is that illegal to say on a podcast?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah? Well, then I just want to disclaim this with saying that I am a comedian. I do jokes.
That was a parody. So I do love the fact that but back to it, he wrote a title page that actually gives no information. For title, it
was auto-generated.
It's auto-generated. Title says script title. Written by nothing. Written by name of first writer. Based on, if any.
I will start using the open source version because I didn't know there was a free open source version. I went for the goods.
Yeah, Highland 2 is good for me, at least, until I'm able to afford the fancier versions of these softwares.
Yeah, me too.
It's the dream.
Yeah, that's what I recommend.
So, your script. There's a lot of characters here.
Okay, there's a lot of characters. So I don't know how to do this. So just skimming through. How about you be young man? So there's two things I want to preface this. I took in the prompt and I wanted there to be this epic snow showdown. Like the snow is supposed to pour down the night of. But while I was writing, I forgot to really write about the incoming storm. I wanted people being like, it hasn't snowed here in 100 years. And I skipped all of that. So you just have to imagine this is a place where it hasn't snowed in a while. So the snow's going to come in, going to bring magic and mystery, and it's going to be weird. And this is a body swap Western. And the whole premise, it's classic genre bending. The whole premise is it's like a Western showdown, but it's a town where the rule of law is all based on fairness. So they can showdown as long as they spend a day in each other's shoes, become the other person, and come back to the showdown as the other person, as a synthesized version of both of them. And only then will they be equals who can duel.
I want you to know, I read quite a few pages of this. I haven't read everything yet. I did not get that subtext at all. But that is fucking great.
It is shoved in your face and also simultaneously probably not well written. So let's make that clear off the top.
So funny. And the name of the script is not script title. What is the name of your script officially?
I think I just called it The Showdown.
The Showdown, which is just like a WWE thing, I think. So. I read this. I'm like, are we wrestling? Is this a cowboy themed wrestler?
This is going to air on the CW with a laugh track.
CW, I have so many things to write for you. Please give me a shot.
Okay, so how about you read Young Man? I will read the other main character, Roy. And then at the start, I will also voice Dinah and Jebediah. So that gets the first scene out of the way. Mm-hmm. And then we can touch base later. But basically, in most of the scenes, either you'll be the focus or I'll be the focus, and the other person can play the other characters.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Every time you say Young Man, I am just... the YMCA song pops in my head.
Yeah, okay.
That should be his theme song, really.
The other thing I need to preface is the name's a bit wrong. At the start, he is the boy with no name. Like the man with no name, obviously. And he will earn the moniker of Young Man.
Gotcha. It's a title to be earned, to be a young man.
All right. I hate myself already, so let's go.
Okay.
Interior, bar. A rundown bar with bare wood adorning the walls. A few round pallet tables are set up as tables. That's redundant. A single man wearing dirty clothing and a soiled hat barely conceal his blackened hair. Hunched over a beer, he sways back and forth. Behind the bar, Dinah cleans glasses. The door is pushed open, and a young man enters. The boy with no name enters, revolver on his hip. He walks to the bar. You looking for something?
I'm looking for the sheriff around these parts.
Nope. No, you're not. Listen, we're not like those other towns, okay? You can't just come here running around looking to prove yourself.
I'm calling out this town sheriff.
Keep your voice down, kid. Truth be told, we ain't got no sheriff. Just Roy.
Who's Roy?
Well, Roy's a fair man. Oh, fair man. It's the drunk.
the drunk who adds in.
That's right. About the fairest man around.
I don't know too much about fair in this land. All I know is that I'm the fastest shot round these parts. Fair or not.
Yeah. Well, I can whistle like hell, but you don't see me dragging my knuckles around asking for trouble now, do you? The drunk guy's like, she sure can whistle. Whistle up a storm, I could.
Look, I'm the best shot in this town, and I'm calling on Roy.
All right, kid. I've shown you just about as much tolerance as could be expected in this here society, so I think...
Calling on Roy, damn it!
As young man is yelling, he raises his revolver and fires a shot into the ceiling. From upstairs, Jesus Christ, I'm hit. God damn it. Jebediah's shot. Jebediah stumbles down the steps, limping with a bloodied leg. I was just doing my stretches. You see, he was just better in his life. Didn't ask for none of that if you ask. Didn't need none of that if you ask me. Get me Roy. Somebody get me Roy. We need mediation. So that's my cold open.
That's your cold open.
That's my cold open. A classic tale of an argument. Sorry.
I want to process this. There's quite a few things I loved about this. One is, so the script's in front of us. I'm reading it. My favorite thing is you had the young man start a sentence, and then right afterwards, it just says continued on the same page. I'm like,
it's supposed to be like a beat in between.
Yeah, gotcha.
I should have written beat. Like, I'm not versed in all the like best practices.
It's a learning process. When I read mediation for the first time, I'm like, is that a spelling error? Then it just keeps showing up. People say mediation. I'm like, okay, that was intentional. Okay.
So they have a problem at the bar. It's gotten out of hand. And Roy, they don't really have a sheriff. They have Roy, who's just a fair man. And he's got to come in. He's going to mediate.
So Jebediah, who just got shot, needs mediation, not medication, not help. He needs mediation.
He needs mediation.
Gotcha.
Problem that's brewing.
Clearing it up. Also, I love the fact.
See how that could be misleading.
So I think I subconsciously made my script only like 2 characters talking at a time, because I remember it was a little hard jumping between characters in the last script. And here you are, you're writing 5 characters in one thing.
I think I'll have to do that next time.
Either that, or we need more fucking people on here. Either one of those.
We'll have to bring some people in.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So in this next scene is pretty short. I'll play Roy. And you'll play Michael, who is essentially a bartender at a barista.
It's described as Mike, a local boy in an apron.
Yes. Exterior, town street. Roy, sitting outside a small local haunt, drinking a cup of black liquid. Mike, a local boy in an apron, comes to his table.
Here's the bill, sir.
Thanks, Michael. Now I just want you to know, since you're a good kid and all, the service was excellent, but the coffee was terrible.
I'm sorry, Roy. We can't get much else out this way. We do our best, but fair is fair.
Well, I had a terrible coffee, but you're just trying to make an honest living in this world. Here's my bill plus 20%. Fair is fair, son.
You're a fair man, Roy.
Roy gives an approving smile and a small nod. The moment is cut by a distant gunshot from across town. Roy and Michael's heads snap in the direction of the shot. From far away, Jebediah, "Where's Roy? I need mediation."
Now what in the great balance of justice is this now?
Roy gets up and walks towards the commotion. Exterior, town street. A dusty road lined with classic Old West-style buildings. Just imagine the Storm building in the background.
Yeah.
A crowd has gathered around a young man with a bloodied and hysterical Jebediah. Roy walks down the street, flanked by other locals who have followed the commotion.
My name is Young Man. I'm the fastest shot around.
I meant to go back and change that.
His name's Young Man. His literal last name is Man. His parents called him Young.
We're big Mormons.
He was bullied at a young age. That's why he became the fastest shot around.
You're named after Brigham Young, son.
Okay, Roy. Well, congratulations, son. I like hearing about the next generation of talent.
And, sir, I just don't think this town is big enough for the both of us.
Well, that's an absurd statement. We got new developments just on the other side of the Chickasumsea River.
Chickasumsea does not look how you pronounce it at all.
Chickasumsea.
There's like 4 more T's.
It's a perfectly American name.
No, I mean this town ain't big enough for 2 gunslingers.
Well, son, that just don't seem too fair. I reckon we could coexist if you will it. I don't know much about shooting a man dead in the street. All I know is what's fair.
The crowd murmurs in agreement. This is a fair land, and the people have relied on Roy's judgment to keep the peace. I just thought I needed to explain a little bit more of the town.
It's lovely. We always like our plot explained.
Explained, yeah.
Explain it. Well, it's good. Well, I came here to shoot the man in charge, dead in the street. So I'll give you a fair shot to count off 10 paces and fire back.
Now, do you think reckless behavior like this builds a society? Or makes us look good in the eyes of God?
I don't know nothing about that.
And what if you just so happen to shoot me dead? You think that these here people will adhere to what is presumably your rule as lawman? You just shoot an old man in the street. That's what they'll say. You left his lovely life a widow. What lovely wife a widow. No one takes kindly to the seeing of a widow walking around knowing her partner was murdered at the hands of an unfair fellow. You can't go around unfairly shooting people expecting that the fabric of society won't feel an equivalent blow.
Well, sir, I am looking for a fair fight. We count paces and turn and...
Now, son, you're what? 18, 19? I'm 62. What about a boy shooting dead an old man sounds fair to you?
You get a fair chance to shoot me, and just like any other...
Oh, I get a chance, do I? Now, look here. You want your chance to shoot your shot and be your own man? Fine. But we got to make this a fair fight. You got to walk a mile in my shoes if you want to take them from me. If you want to duel us here, you got to be me, and I've got to be you. We gotta swap places, take each other's weaknesses, and come back here tomorrow and duel as equals as each other.
I don't understand.
It's a classic setup. I become you. I take on your young man's mental prison of raging hormones, a rigid personal code shaped by a traumatic event. You get my slow aging body and the burden of being relied upon in this outpost. And then tomorrow, we come back, having synthesized our personalities, and we duel as equals. Oh, Jebediah limping. That sounds fair to me. Yeah, that's all the townspeople. All the townspeople go, yeah. And then there's this character of a witch.
I'll do.
Do you do the witch is like a Greek chorus.
They shall change bodies for a night, discover each other's inner frights, and then duel until the lesser man dies.
The townspeople in the crowd murmur. One townsperson, that witch freaks me out, man.
But I get it. It's a promising idea.
So it's set. This is Roy. Let's swap clothes.
I just thought they needed to swap clothing.
Wait, are we doing that now? Here?
Yeah, we swap clothes for the thing.
There's just a lot of people around.
You know, I see it now. That's fair. You're off to a good start.
That's kind of, I guess, the end of Act 1, if we're putting acts into this. And a lot of ham-fisted explanations of what the hell's happening.
So
What are your thoughts so far?
This town's a cult, right? Like,
look, this town is just built on the principle of being fair. Ain't nothing strange about that.
Fair is fair. I gave you 20% tip. I'm like, all right, what's this bill? I would like numbers here.
I wanted to build up like Roy is the guy who's like not running the town, but he's the fairest man. And this town needs a fair man.
Yeah, he's the judge, jury, and executioner. And practitioner of the black arts. Yes, he is.
And there's a witch. There's a witch that the town people are skeptical of, but tolerate.
Yeah. Did you like my witch voice? Just the deep, booming baritone.
I did. You know, I threw the witches in because I am very much like Shakespeare. And you could, you know, some people would make that comparison.
Is this your King Lear?
Okay. I guess Act 2. And this is the whole part. There's going to be a whole part where they learn about each other in a few different scenes before we come back to the duel. So this is like the next day as happening. So exterior town street.
I just love the fact that the young man, after hearing, you just have to fight as me. And he's like, you just got to have your body fail you. And then we'll fight fairly. And the young kid's like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, but like my body's already failing, and I'm gonna take on, you know, all the foibles the young man has of trying to like prove himself.
A working penis.
With hormones.
Yeah.
And I gain a little bit of skill in, you know, remembering how to shoot the gun.
It sounds to me like Roy's a kind of vampire wizard who brings young people in here, steals their body and energy to win duels. But this is just my theorizing. I guess we'll learn.
Okay, we'll learn. And I just want to say, every other character in this has like negative backstory, and I feel the worst about how the wife is like a cardboard cutout of a character, and I threw in a sex scene. It's horrible. It's god awful, and we're gonna read it.
Technically, so this script like has a complete conclusion ending, right?
Yeah.
That's better than mine. So like we're good. Like you got farther than I did.
Okay. We're at the halfway point pretty much. So Act 2. Exterior town street. So now we've swapped. So Roy, as the young man, is on horseback. I'm on your horse, trotting down the street. He has swagger with every bounce of the horse and a sexy look on his face. Just a young man making his way in the world. In a small square where there are some people milling about. An older woman gets water from the fountain. A young boy walks by with a sack of flour. Roy continued, I'm the best shot in this here western town. Roy pulls out a revolver and fires it at a glass bottle. The shot goes wide and hits Jebediah, who's walking by on crutches. Jesus Christ, my other leg. Jebediah falls to the ground. Roy has a shocked look on his face. I must learn quickly
how to be young and daring.
That would cut to the other guy's exterior of Roy's home. The young man is seated outside. A small line is formed in front of the home. Matilda, Roy's wife, who is just now being introduced, oversees the process.
So Roy would just sit out here and provide clear insight and judgment on disagreements in this community.
That's right, Matilda said.
A banker in a suit complete with bowler hat and pocket timepiece steps forward. In tow is a weeping woman, Miss Johnson. I guess you can also play. Do you want to also play the banker or Mrs. Johnson?
I'll play the banker. That's fine.
Okay.
On behalf of the local bank, Dominion Trust, we have repossessed Mrs. Johnson's home, but she refuses to vacate the property.
It's all I have. I couldn't work while my boy was sick with the fever.
This is the young man. Well, on what grounds was the property repossessed? She has not made a payment in weeks. Well, it sounds like repossession is fair then, right?
But, young man, how would you like that happening to you?
Well, I wouldn't, but...
As Roy's wife, I mean, just explaining my character again, wouldn't it would make you mad?
Yeah, I'd probably kill anyone who came to town and take what's mine.
You can't always kill your problems. Oh, please say that I can kill him, Mrs. Johnson says.
I can kill a hunger. I can kill a thirst. Why can't I kill a man trying to take what's mine?
And then once you kill that man, what happens to your problem then?
I'm getting a little uncomfortable with all this talk of killing me. Well then, the man would be dead and I would be free.
Mrs. Johnson starts smiling wildly, pulling a knife out from behind her apron. Matilda, Roy's wife, frowning.
And then what? Every time someone comes out with a problem, you gotta kill them until one day someone kills you before you even get old? Is that a life?
So that's probably the worst scene ever written. Possibly. The whole purpose of this is to you see both of them struggle with becoming the other person. One guy, like, he can't shoot right because he's this old man, and then the young guy, like, he only knows just how to kill and murder to solve his problems.
Got ya. I have two opinions on this scene. One, we should definitely fucking plan ahead who's gonna voice who beforehand.
Yes, yeah, I know.
We should definitely, because our voices, like, I'm sure all my voices are the same fucking voice. I'm trying to sound different.
If we give you like a man and a woman per scene, then
yeah,
it's actually not too bad. I think we've gotten through some of the worst parts, though.
Listen, it's making progress. I like how the young man doesn't understand morality.
He's gone town to town just shooting sheriffs. He's got a long way to go.
And I like how Matilda, you said she's not developed. It seems she's an old hat at this, her husband possessing young boys' bodies and dealing with the young boys. It seems she's enjoying this more than he is, to be honest with you.
Well, she's about to enjoy it a whole darn bit. So we'll get to that. So now we'll continue this. They start getting better at the process. Exterior outskirts of town. Roy is riding the young man's horse around the outskirts of town as a carriage approaches. Now, I need to say, this first line says banker. I had him as merchant before, and I changed it in one place. It's fucked up. I don't know what he is. I think he's a merchant, but it doesn't make sense.
I'll play the merchant. Is he the same guy as the banker?
No. Different guy.
Okay, gotcha.
Different guy. So this guy is like a friendly guy. I think he like works for the bank or the town, something in finances. And you'll see, he's a nice, friendly guy.
Oh, Roy. Fancy seeing you out here riding a new horse. What's with the getup?
I'm not Roy. I'm the boy with no name.
But time out. I'm just trying to process this.
He is Roy, but he's becoming the boy.
No. I know that. But the merchant thinks it's Roy, but he's in the young man's body.
They're not body swapped.
They're not body swapped.
No. I mean. Oh, I've done a bad job at explaining. What I mean is, like, they have, you know that phrase, like, you got to walk a mile in the other person's shoes? Yeah, they're literally, like, they're dressed up as each other. They're walking a mile in each other's shoes. They're learning about each other. They haven't, like, physically body swapped, though. They're learning about each other. And so the merchant is just like, oh, hey, Roy.
And he's like, I'm not Roy. I'm
This
the
makes
boy.
this so much fucking crazy.
So I'm so sorry for that.
It's fine. I'm ready now. Let's do this.
So
Okay.
it is an old ass man dressed up as a boy. I should have put in something about how like the clothes don't fit him or anything like that.
Just like his guts sticking out. He has a crop top
It's
of a
on like
button
a
down
horse
vest.
that's too small or something.
A horse is gasping.
Okay, so I'm rolling through town, becoming the boy.
Okay. All right. So, all right, Roy. Anyway, move aside. We got deeds of new gold mined fresh in from the territories.
Gold deeds, huh?
Come on, Roy. I want to get in and have a nice meal at Dina's.
Well, I reckon this town ain't big enough for the both of us.
What? Roy, come on. You're making me late.
Oh, I'm the fastest gun around.
Roy.
And then we cut back to Roy's home, where the young man is currently still dealing with the bank.
Yes, the banker. I can't take any more talks of murder to enforce contracts.
Matilda, no one is murdering anyone. Looking at the young man, that wouldn't be fair, right?
Yeah, no one is going to murder.
Mrs. Johnson, my boy died from the fever and I'm ready to give my life. The crowd murmurs louder and louder as violence and vengeance seeps through. Young man.
Wait! I think I get it now. Removes his hand from the weapons. We give Mrs. Johnson an extension on account of hardship from her son dying and it being a tough harvest. If she can't pay back by next year the full amount, then she can make other plans to vacate the property.
All the townsperson,
That's fair.
That's fair.
He did it.
and then the witch jumps in as well.
They are becoming each other. They are becoming equal.
So the witch isn't the witch is a villager, but
The
at the same
witch-
time the narrator.
Yeah, the witch he comes in like a Greek chorus to just like echo what's happening. Just a brief like, yep, this is what's going on.
This is great. This is great.
So we cut back to the outskirts of the town. It's like a slow motion. It's the beginning of a slow motion montage. Think like the music's coming in the background and it's like building and it's just slow motion. And Roy is just pumping lead into the merchant. Roy just screaming, ah! The merchant riddled with bullets, shaking back and forth, red plumes of blood popping out of his chest. Roy's 6-shooter revolver runs out of bullets. He pulls out another set of revolvers and keeps shooting.
So Roy, the god and avatar of fair and judgment in this town, currently just dressed in a young man's clothes, just shot the shit out of a merchant he's known for years.
So the young man has learned how to be fair, and Roy has learned how to shoot his way to get what he wants. Gonna get these gold deeds. So we cut back to Roy, the young man back in town, dealing with another crisis, and the music's still building in the background now. The young man is mediating another argument between two women and a child. The crowd is whipped up in excitement. Young man is doing such a good job of mediating.
Then, if you both claim the child is yours, cut it in half and share the boy.
And the woman, what? The townsperson, it does seem strange.
What do you mean in half? I think I remember a story from the Bible about the situation. And the very fair king said, I think, in half.
This feels weird.
I agree, but it's from the Bible. So unless you have a more fair idea.
The crowd is in suspense for a minute. Woman won.
Well, it works for me.
The witch. The boy has become a fair man.
The crowd erupts in cheers, which is basically my script's version of the Navy SEAL copy pasta of just saying something ridiculous and then the audience cheers. And then so the music's really built by this point, and we cut back to the town outskirts. It's a montage. Roy showering himself in gold deeds, bloodied next to the body of a bloodied merchant. The witch's face is superimposed over the scene.
The man becomes a reckless boy.
And now we're gonna cut 1 minute because there's a ring at my door. 1 second.
Yeah, I heard that. We're so
Okay,
close.
so this is the thing. So We're in the montage now. The music is building. The montage, Roy showering himself in gold deeds next to the body of the bloodied merchant. The witch's face is superimposed over the scene.
The man becomes a reckless boy.
And we cut back, middle of the montage still. The room is candlelit. The young man and Matilda are in bed.
I learned a lot about being fair today.
And I learned a lot about you. Roy and Matilda lock eyes. I love a fair man.
I'm just a boy.
A man. Continue the montage. The music really builds right now. Matilda and the young man start making out.
God.
The snow is falling outside. The storm has hit. We cut back to Roy in the cold, collecting the gold deeds. He looks tired and cold, but satisfied. He cut to Matilda and the young man making passionate love in the candlelit room. We cut to Roy cutting open the belly of his horse and pulling the guts out. We cut to Matilda and the young man spooning in the dim light. We cut to Roy closing his eyes inside the carcass of the horse.
Was any of that necessary at all? I'm sorry, but what the fuck?
It's the climax. It's the craziness. The snow. The witch's prophecy has come true. The next day, exterior town street. A crowd has gathered on the day of the reckoning. Snow blankets the town. The young man stands at the edge of the crowd, which is circled around him. In the distance, Roy approaches. The witch.
As day grows from night, they approach each other, having swapped lives.
The townsperson.
Is the witch thing? It's still weird, right?
That townsperson is now named David. That's literally just how I...
Roy gets a few paces from the young man.
What can I help you with?
And now, what you really have to remember about this scene is that now they are both playing each other's roles. And really what you need is the young man is dressed up as Roy from the first act. And Roy is dressed up in the young man's clothing from the first act. And they're meeting. It's the first scene over, just from the opposite perspective. Or characters are switched, I mean. So the young man says, just you can read the line.
What can I help you with?
I'm looking for the sheriff.
Well, I ain't the sheriff, but I'm about the fairest man in this here no sheriff town.
And I'm the fastest gun around. And I don't think this town is big enough for the both of us.
Actually, I just heard that one of our merchants was brutally murdered. So if that strikes your fancy, I reckon there's an opening.
You know I mean it metaphorical like.
Well, I'm just an old man, said the 24-year-old. Not sure I know too much about that.
And then the witch says,
The prophecy is complete. You have taken on each other's strengths and weaknesses and may fight as equals.
which is just a line I added to justify and remind you what the fuck is happening. So Roy, as the young boy, as the young man,
How about I give you 10 steps, old man, and then we turn around and shoot?
Sounds fair.
we're almost done, by the way, if you just want to wait.
Oh, it's insane.
We're almost
Carolyn.
done.
I'm so happy for you guys don't hear this. You might hear the what the fuck in the background. That's just Carolyn processing what she's hearing from David's end.
Okay. So how about I give you 10 steps and shoot you, old man? Sounds fair. So they start doing the duel. Roy and young man start walking away from each other, step by step. Each step, the crowd hesitates. You could hear a pin drop. On the 9th step, Roy turns around early.
Nothing unfair about being the fastest gun around. The crowd gasps.
The young man looks over his shoulder to see Roy already holding his revolver. Roy pulls the trigger, and the young man gets knocked down, bloodied on his chest. Roy walks over. The young man's breathing is irregular and gurgling.
Take care of my wife.
I will,
Why'd you turn early?
because I'm the fastest gun. And also, I heard you had a young boy cut in half.
That's fair.
Sure is.
Jebediah.
I feel that this situation has been successfully mediated.
The snow is coming down harder now. Oh, but sorry, the note is Jebediah crawling because his 2 legs have been shot throughout this. Snow is coming down harder now. The crowd starts to disperse and the camera zooms out above the scene. Cut to interior. Dinah's bar. You can be Dinah this time. I'll be Roy.
Okay.
Roy. Well, all's well that ends well. Fair as fair can be.
Jebediah succumbed to the infection from his wound.
As fair could be.
Oh my God.
Fade to black.
So, a few things. just things I want to talk about. I want to work through a few things here. First of all, I love this because I just kept interrupting you because I need clarification here. My script, I thought we read it. We were just we just read the script. We read it as is.
Your script made a lot of sense. There was a lot of the dialogue explained the things you need to know, whereas I relied on the witch and telling you. My original idea for this, because I was having obviously trouble explaining things. Also, I'm such an asshole as a podcast host that I started this yesterday and I wrote the outline of everything that needed to happen. I did the classic look up, remind myself of a story structure, all the things that need to happen on the hero's journey. Just go through, and literally I just had the premise, and then as I went, I was like, oh, this could happen, and then just kind of worked it backwards. And then this morning I got up and I probably spent, today only 4 hours writing and rewriting this. And I'll be honest, A, I'm not very good at this anyway, and B, it shows when you don't, when you procrastinate and then try and shove it through at the last minute. And so it's garbage on garbage, but it is a fun time.
This was so much fun. Let's officially make the Showdown the base standard for all scripts of 2 weeks to write. If we can make it better than this, we have succeeded. If we make it worse, we've done something great either way. We still achieved something. It was so fucking funny. If someone showed me, if this was a 10-minute YouTube video, I would be on the ground dying laughing. And you wrote it it's a perfect short little video. If someone makes this, people what the fuck is happening? This is insane.
It does this would be very hard to produce. There's a lot of set design that we would need.
100%. It had me dying laughing when I literally thought in the first half of the script, I didn't realize they didn't actually switch bodies. I thought this was a Freaky Friday situation. I didn't realize they just changed fucking clothes, and the witch does nothing except talk.
The witch is just a riff off. Okay, this is the one thing I remember from 6th grade ancient history or whatever. They taught us how we had to do a Greek play and put on a Greek play, and all I remember is that there's the Greek chorus is a group of people who come out and they just say the line that, and I'm probably totally wrong on this. Time has probably ruined my memory, but I believe they just say the line that sums up the thing that happened, or they repeat the moral that someone is missing. They're an underscore on what happened. So the witch comes in to be they're swapping bodies, just so it's we're all clear that they're doing a body swap thing, except it's an emotional body swap.
I just thought that was so fucking funny. I also love Roy's thing is fair is fair. I want everyone to understand what fair is. Roy did murder a man. 2 men, really. It might have been fair for the young man to die. The merchant did not have that coming at all.
Roy was doing this as the young man. So we have to see.
So 3 murders are the young man's fate right now.
Roy was tainted by the psychology of the young, braggadocious man. So,
how does that justify him killing the horse during the sex scene?
Yeah, he was caught outside in the cold, and the young man, he's got nobody by his side. So you see, Roy lives this nice life with a wife that cares about him. The young man's got nobody. So when they swap, the young man gets all the trappings of a marriage. He gets this committed partner, who loves him. And Roy is out there in the middle of the snowstorm, and he has to tauntaun a horse in order to survive the night.
So 2 things to that. One, Wasn't he still in town when he taught Don North?
He was on the outskirts of town. Yeah, it's like camping in your own backyard.
In my mind, this all happened in like the middle of July, so like it was completely unnecessary.
So I mean, the snowstorm was supposed to be. It's this. Originally, I had this weird idea where it's like post-apocalyptic, where so many people have died in the apocalypse that global warming has radically reset. And we just slide into a new ice age or something.
Oh, nice.
So it was supposed to be like the first snow in like 100 years. And that's why they're in like this Western is whatever. So that's why there's like a coffee shop scene. I had all these dumb jokes I was trying to shop of like the kids serving bad coffee. And the old man who remembers like the pre-collapse world is like, they would hang you for shit like this in Italy. And the young kid's like, what the fuck's Italy? It's like something stupid of like the world is radically changed. Only the old people remember.
I love the fact this started at a place of you wanted a plot and a theory and a background, and then you just tossed that all aside for the witch.
Well, even though the snow does not get explained in the plot really at all, it's still in there.
It's a significant point of the plot.
It helps explain why he has to crawl inside a horse.
And obviously the turning point of the plot, the sex scene.
It's the emotional climax.
It seemed like the young man wasn't going to have sex. It seemed like the wife, Matilda, really wanted to have sex. And of course it happened consensually, but it just seemed like he had no intentions. And then she's like, no. He's like, wait, what? Okay, hold on.
I think, because obviously I've done.
Now, was this before or after? Was this before or after he cut a child in half?
No, he didn't cut any child in half. He gets, you know that biblical story.
King Solomon.
King Solomon being like, we should cut the child in half. And then the real mother's like, oh my God, no. And then for some reason back then, even the fake mother's like, yeah, I guess that works for me. We cut this boy in half, which is weird regardless that would be like that. Oh, we gotcha. You're not the real mom. But I digress. So it's just that situation. And he's like trying to grasp on, and maybe this made more sense when it was supposed to be post-apocalyptic, because there's this idea of like the culture behind them that was lost. So like he was told this biblical story in his youth, and he's like trying to bring it up right now. And he's like, yeah, no, wait. Okay. 2 women, 1 baby. I think I heard this in the Bible. And I think, to get the fair biblical solution, we cut the boy in half. Is that what happens? Everyone's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, do you have anything else? Because look, I got the Bible here. So if you have a better explanation, then maybe. But I mean, I got the Bible. And then they're like, well, that works. Okay, we'll do that.
I love the fact that he can read. Because if you told me he couldn't read, I'd believe you in a heartbeat. If the young man was illiterate, I'd be like, yes, I get that. No, that tracks.
He could be told stories of the Bible.
He read it by having it told to him.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just like me in the
people
Bible.
used to.
Yeah.
But really, I also feel like that was just put in as some justification for the man shooting early. Like, okay, because he does become, tainted by the boy and becomes a little more evil like the boy is, whereas the boy becomes more fair. And that way they can become equals.
Listen, this was so much fun. I had a great time reading it. I'm not criticizing. I'm just trying to work out my thoughts.
No, I know. I'm just trying to go into the lore that I'm trying to build here.
I can't wait for the prompt. One of the prompts in the future, someone's like, no, continue the boy's story. Both of you write about it. I want to learn about Roy mastering witchcraft.
I want to know more about this witch in the town.
Oh God, it's so good.
Because the town people are like, it's a little weird, right?
I was literally townsperson number 2, who's just like, this is strange, right?
It's a little
odd. No, this was so much fun.
So I feel like because I procrastinated so much, I was like, I have to do better at acting and buying a microphone.
I want to say this to you. You are such a better performer than I am. Like when we're doing my script, we're just reading the lyrics. When you're doing it, we're having a great fucking time because you're acting this shit out. I'm watching you wave your hands, getting these bug eyes for shit.
Yeah, but your story made more sense and the dialogue was better. So we're each bringing our strengths here.
We're gonna learn from each other, baby. 2 weeks to write. It's a learning process.
2 weeks to write.
There's 2 weeks and they both suck at the process.
It was phenomenal. I had a great time listening this to you.
See you next time when both Davids are back on 2 Week to Write.